Hello there and welcome to Dalton Valley. We are down here at the market picking up some seed and fertiliser. This place is also a Massey Ferguson Agco dealership. Got a farm supply store here and a small livestock market as well. All rolled into one. Very handy for us. And just down the road is our goat and sheep farm. So we'll get the New Holland started up. It's about 20 years old now, but it still does the job on the farm. And I'll give you a little tour of the local area. I've got a little map, bring it up. We're just tucked into this small valley called Dalton Valley. Our farm is just north of the stores, but I'll take a bit of a detour. Bit of a blind corner, and I'll show you a bit of the local area. So we'll jump into a better view if the trailer will cooperate for seeing the map. There we go. There's a bit of a struggle. So we've got a church here on our left. And some plain fields, and I will break that wonderful character for a moment and to tell you this is Dalton Valley Farms, which is a map on the mod hub, and it's very nice. All the fields are quite small, nothing too big that you'd have to worry about if you like to just play for a small amount of time, get something done. You know, if you don't have hours on end to feed into working on one field. We've got a pub here, and the pub, very handy for us, also have a cheese making business on the side. They make goat's cheese, so that local pub is where we sell all our goat milk, and they go on to turn it into cheese. Dalton Valley goat cheese, very premium. Got a garage just here. Somewhere over the tree line you should see a pig farm. That road just leads out to the church. You can't really see it because I'm high up in the trees now. Sawmill down that way, some woodland. And if you keep going north this way, you do make your way to the coast, where sometimes you can see fishing boats, trolling about in the bay. There is cow farm. Nearly went into a bush then. All the bushes do have collisions on as well, so you'll know about it when you go into a bush. Cow and chicken farm to our left. Coming up. Sorry mate, driving all over the road. And that's not a helpful view to be in. So we'll go back inside. We'll make that a bit smaller. I'll keep it up so you can see where I am as you get the bearings of the map. But it's basically just a loop around. There is a nice plot of land that is not marked as a field number, just below the sell point and supply store. And it does have a sign in the front. I should have shown it as we went past. But it's a large area of vacant land just for sale that you could build your own farm on if you wanted. Can we take this road? I think we can. Yep, we can. Have to back up a bit. So yeah, down in Dalton Valley we run this small sheep and goat farm. Our sheep produce wool as well before we sell them on to slaughter. We've got about 50 sheep and about 50 goats. We've not had the farm very long. This is our first full year on the farm, so I thought I'd do some videos to show how we operate. We've got a small fleet of machines and mostly just work in grassland, although we have recently purchased, there's a big dip in that field, like a sinkhole. We've recently purchased a Deutz Skyliner, I want to say it's called. It's a combine harvester. And we're going to turn a couple of our fields this year into arable land. And we're going to, here's one of them to our left right now. And we're going to have a go farming soybeans, because there is a new market for soybeans in the UK. It's quite a big market. We mostly import them at the moment, but as there are now hardier breeds of soybean that can grow in our cooler, wetter climate, it's a good opportunity to start growing some. However, our plan for today is to plant some alfalfa, which we've never done before. But with the excess alfalfa hay, if we do have any excess, we can sell it on, not just to other farms, we could also sell it on for pets, household pets and stuff, and you can get quite a good price for alfalfa hay compared to just your regular hay. So we'll pull in and I'll give you a small tour of what we've got going on. Hay shed here, running out of hay, so we need to get a mow done sooner rather than later. We might not get the best out of our grass. Here's our home. We're a bit of a Cavernland farm. We've got sprayer, windrower, mower. This is our modern tractor. We've not had it very long at all, only a few hours on it. Deutz Cavernland seeder in there. We've recently put this new shed, intentionally to keep our Starliner in. It was called the Starliner, thank goodness, that would have been embarrassing. Spreader, and then we've got plough, cultivator and a tedder. And as you can see, most of the equipment, apart from the trailer and tractor, really is very new. We do have a very old now bale wrapper here. We got this second hand, and if we have more than enough bales, we have that so we could wrap up bales and sell them as silage bales, because we've no use for silage with all our sheep and goats are grass fed, and we've no use for silage, but we can sell it on either to the BGA or to maybe local cow farmers. So I'll give you a peek at the fields. Grass field here. Needs spraying for weeds before they take over. And if I climb up, have a drink as well. Excuse me. If I climb up on here, can't do it now. There we go. You see the field dips quite a lot. We've got a big dip there and then two dips in both corners. We get quite a lot of standing water on the field, so we might have to do some earthworks in the future to sort that out. It doesn't make it very good land for arable farming. You see we've got some standing water still here. Got second grass field here, and there is another field beyond that hedge that isn't ours, and we did think about tearing the hedge out for one larger grass field, but it's no bother really driving around it, and it's better for wildlife to keep it in. If I jump over here, we've got another grass field here in an L shape, and if I jog across this field here, I think it's going to be where we try alfalfa for the first time. And then we've got 2 fields across the road, and I think we're going to do soybeans in both of them. So we get this gate open, and I'm thinking we'll get planting, or we could fertilise. And we might want to do that as well. In fact, we might do that first. We need to... This grass here has only gone in this year, it's new. There's more growth on this grass here, so we're going to harvest this grass first, and we're probably going to harvest it a bit earlier than usual to save us buying hay in. So I reckon we take the fertiliser out, and we get some fertiliser onto the grass. Which I've now boxed into the shed, but that's not too bad. I'm sure we can worm our way through these bars. There we go. Oops, wrong button. Get it all hooked up. If I back up a bit, should be able to swing just around here, and we can start throwing some fertiliser in the back. So we go around in the field, but it's a lot easier to turn on if we hook up all the cables. I do like this spreader because it has an adjustable spread rate, but we are going to keep it on 24. I don't want to lower it. What's going on here? There we go. Now we're working in business now, so we'll get the grass spreading. I've not got the real numbers mod on because the fields are so small, and although I do like to make it hard for myself, they are so small we barely make any money, kind of like on No Man's Land where we're barely getting anything from the fields we harvest. And I don't really mind on that map, but I thought to give the impression that this is, you know, a real working farm, bigger than it actually is, we'll use the inflated farm sim numbers to give the impression that the field we're harvesting is maybe, you know, 20 acres rather than 2 acres, and just makes it a bit easier to progress and speed along a bit faster if I do carry on making videos on the map. You can sort of keep it a bit more interesting. I keep hitting the wrong one. And it makes it a bit easier to give it a bit of a narrative if you're making money a lot quicker than what is realistic. And we'll get a nice inflated price from the bales. But that is also why I don't want to be buying bales. I don't want to spend all my money on bales. And I think I'm mostly going to be doing grass work on these videos. I did have sort of an itch to play an English map still, but I felt like I'd left it too long to do another video in Little Norton, and I quite liked the novelty that goats brought. Something a bit different as well, doing goats and sheep. This is the first time I've used a Deutz as well. But I do particularly like them. I think there's something a bit futuristic looking about them. Swing round into the middle. I can't actually see anywhere to suggest that this is applying as the game normally would show. Let's stop for a sec and jump out. So I've decided to come into this field where we're going to plant the alfalfa later and just get fertilizer down on it anyway, ahead of planting of this afternoon, rather than waste more fertilizer on a field that isn't taking it for whatever reason. It's one of those things with farm sims sometimes, because it's not had any fertilization, so I don't know what's going on there, but really serves me right for not testing it before I started recording. And although I'm not using the real numbers mod, I've got the adjustable spread rates on, and I've got the spreadsheet from the real numbers mod, so that way I can sort of simulate using realistic amounts of, well, semi-realistic amounts of fertilizer. It'd always be different, and lime and liquid fertilizer and what have you. So we'll be paying the inflated farm sim prices, but we'll be using maybe a more reasonable amount of the stuff. We've just got that tiny little strip left. So let's drop the spread rate width down to 24, and then we're not wasting too much. We'll just go over this small gap. So just get the rest of these grass fields done whilst we've got the fertilizer on the tractor before we get planting the alfalfa. And the good thing about planting soy is that we don't need to do it till late spring or early summer, so it's given us enough time to sort of get things in order with the grass fields and changing over from arable to grass in some of these fields as well, as they had been previously. You see how big the dip is here. So I've got the extended driving mod, is what I want to call it, which gives us the wheel slip and the percentage for sort of the workload of the engine. And it also, in spots, will put water lying in low level areas, which I think is to show you areas where you're going to have less traction as well. And we do get it quite bad in this field, like I did say. And it's good. The water doesn't really look great. Sort of very, very reflective. But it breaks up the fields a bit, seeing where standing water would be. I think it adds that little bit of extra realism that's sometimes missing from farm sim. I'll shoot round here. But it's a very nice map. And the small fields are a nice change. I generally quite like large fields, but it does just make being able to sit down and play a bit easier when you've just got small fields that you can sort of fly around in a couple of minutes. So I think I'll leave this video here. Hope you've enjoyed watching, and we'll have you back again soon in the goat farm likely doing grass work. And we'll break up that monotony of the grass work with planting some soy at some point as well. So thanks very much for watching. Have a good one.